One of the most interesting things about being natural that I have discovered is the amount of attention that you get. And with that attention, you will normally get three things. You will get stares or looks, you will get comments, and you will get questions. And so today's video, I'm going to list the top 10 questions that I myself have personally gotten since I've gone natural. This is probably the number one question that I get asked. What made you decide to go natural? I get this question from both men and women. And this question can be answered in a simple way. I could simply say that I just have decided to no longer chemically alter my hair. That's the simple point of it. But I could get deep into it and say, all sorts of things like, I don't want to conform anymore. Oh, I'm tired of living by European standards. Another question that I get asked a lot, particularly by women, is your hair hard to take care of? Or isn't it harder to take care of than having relaxed hair? And this question is interesting because at first, I would say yes. When I was first getting used to my natural hair, first getting used to how to wash it, how to comb it, how to style it, I would have said yes. But as the months go on, now when people ask me this question, I say to them, not necessarily. It just depends on you and what you expect from your natural hair. If you expect something dramatic every single day, something that takes a lot of time and thought every single day, then yes, it can be harder to take care of. But if you just let your hair do what it wants to do for the most part, keep it clean, keep it moisturized, no, it's not that hard to take care of. Another question I get asked a lot, which sounds silly, is how do you wash it? People ask me, how do you wash your hair? And I think that's a funny question. And I pretty much say I wash my hair very carefully. And I begin to explain to them, how we have to try to keep our hair from tangling and knotting, and can't, especially as your hair gets longer, you can't start piling it on top of your head and just do like you see women do on commercials. That doesn't work. Another question I get asked, which is a funny question, is how do you comb it? Can you comb through your hair? I get this from guys a lot for some reason. And I tell them, no, I can't comb through this stuff. I'm honest, no. I cannot take a comb and go like this. Those days are over. And I tell them the process that I take, just being careful when I comb my hair. And I actually tell them that I don't comb my hair that much anymore, which a lot of people are like, what, you don't comb your hair that much? They don't understand the whole finger combing, finger styling, finger detangling. So sometimes I'll break that down to them as well. Another question, what do you do to your hair at night? That's a legitimate question. I normally tell everybody the same thing. At night, I twist my hair up. As it's getting longer, I can sometimes go nights without twisting it up, but for the most part, in order to retain some type of moisture to it, to keep it from tangling and matting, to retain any type of elongation, normally at night I twist my hair up, is the answer that I give them. What do you do to get it curly is another question. And this question, I love answering it because I say, well, our hair, for the most part, when I say our, African-American women, our hair is naturally curly for the most part. I know there are some exceptions. And they're like, what, naturally curly? And I'm like, yeah, if you wash your hair and just leave it in its natural state, typically it will curl up. And they think this is the most amazing thing. But I do explain to them that there are styling techniques that you can use to get your hair to be curly. You can twist it, you can braid it and take it out. You can use curly products and so forth. You can finger curl it. You can put it in rollers if you want to. So people think that's interesting. Another question, which sometimes I get insulted, is it soft? And I tell them, yeah, it's kind of cottony soft, So that's a kind of silly question, but I do get that. And this is a question that does stir emotion for me sometimes. Will you ever relax your hair again? And it stirs emotion because the answer is always a definitive no. And when I say it, I'm emotional about it because I feel like I have literally been on a journey to discover what my new hair is really like, to discover myself through my hair in some regards. And so when I get this answer, I absolutely always answer it the same way: no. And most natural women that I come across on YouTube say, no, I won't go back to relaxers, that going natural is the best thing that we've ever done for our hair. And another question: weren't you worried about what people would say about you or how you would be perceived? This question, it makes me think, because when I think back to my decision to go natural, yes, I did worry or think, how would I be perceived, particularly at work, particularly in my career, not so much in my personal life. But yes, I tell people in the beginning I was concerned about how I would be perceived in the workplace. Would it stop me from getting promotions, progressing? I'm so happy to announce that I'm no longer worried about how I'm perceived at work. I'm not worried about how I'm perceived in my private life at all. And that the perception of me, I can't speak for everybody. I don't know how I'm perceived by everybody, but how they treat me is what I'm worried about. How people treat me is, to me, more important than how you're perceived. You can be perceived any way that they want to perceive you, but it's how they treat you. And then the last question that I get asked a lot, and this is a silly, silly question. And you know what? I get asked this question by men more than women. Can I touch it? They want to touch my hair. And I always say yes. If somebody wants to touch my hair, I always say yes. Because it tells me that they're not used to natural hair. It tells me that they don't have that much experience touching natural hair. And so if they want to touch it, and I'm not talking about, dig all up in my scalp, but if they want to touch my hair, if they want to see what it feels like, I have no problem with that. But for men, they probably have even less experience dealing with natural hair, because you think about it, if they have daughters, normally it's the women, the mother of that child, that is going to take care of that daughter's hair. Typically, a lot of people grow up in a household where their mothers may not have had natural hair. And typically, that man, if they have a female in their life or a female friend or whatever, typically, again, that woman may not have natural hair. So it tells me that black men are amazed by natural hair. So if they want to touch it, I'm like, yeah, you can touch it. Just don't pull on it, baby. But those are, actually, I think that's 10. Those are 10 of the questions that I get asked a lot about my natural hair. So feel free to share some of the questions that you get asked, and feel free to share how you respond to those questions. Some people, I watched videos in the past, and some women feel like they're explaining themselves or trying to justify themselves when they get asked these questions. I don't look at it like that. I look at it as an opportunity to educate people on natural hair, because for the most part, people are ignorant when it comes to natural hair. I was ignorant when it came to natural hair. I had questions, and I'm happy that I came across people that didn't have a problem answering my questions. So in turn, as natural, I feel like it's a good thing to answer questions. I don't have a problem answering questions, so please share some of the questions that you've gotten and share how you respond to the questions. And I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a blessed day.